Alexis, a consultant here at Valiantis. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can level up your email notification using automation for Jira. Jira does come with some built-in notifications, but as you probably noticed, they look pretty bare bones. And while in Jira Service Management, you have the ability to customize customer notifications a bit, you're still limited. You can't add your own custom fields, and you only get a specific list of smart values to work with. One great way to get around these limitations is by using automation for Jira's send email action. But here's the catch. If you don't know the few insider tricks, those automated emails can look just as plain as the default ones. So let's change that. Just like the fall season bringing pumpkin spice, we're going to spice up your Jira emails with formatting, dynamic content, and conditional logic that actually works. Before we dive in, we do need to go over what formatting you can utilize. So here are the formatting options you can do. You can bold, italic, underline types of text. You can create hyperlinks using a display name and then encoding behind it a URL. You can do a bullet list, numbered list. You can do line breaks, divider line, so that's going to give you that horizontal line for dividing. You can do a table, and it is a little bit limited, but you can do the color text. And then finally, there is a conditional section type formatting that you can do. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's dive in to see what that looks like. To start out, let's go ahead and take a look at the automation. That way we can go over what those type of formattings look like, how to do them, and at the very end we will submit 2 requests that is going to differentiate that conditional section that we'll go over. That way you can see how it looks. So coming in here, to start out with, I have this going to reporter. However, you can do this to assignee, to a specific person. Again, this doesn't have to just be used with Jira Service Management, so you could use this for a wide variety of reasons. You can set the subject. If there's some people that you need to CC or even BCC, you can do that. In here, you can also set a from name, so you can set like a do not reply, and then you can also send where if this should have a reply, where those replies should be sent to. But coming in here, so right off the bat, you see this initial one, this HR, this is that horizontal line break. So putting that in there gives us that solid line. You have this BR, this is a line break. You don't have to utilize these breaks as much if in these more options you do keep this convert line breaks to HTML checked. However, this comes especially into play for the table, where in this table, once it starts, it kind of places in pre-padding already, so that way it's kind of already putting in line breaks. So in scenarios, which we can uncheck and I'll show you how that looks, where you have giant spaces because it's already translating those, unchecking them means that we have to physically add a break in each one. If we add a space in this content box here, it's not going to enter a space in that email section because you have to formally tell it that space to put here. So then we have these this B right here. This is going to be your bold. Whenever you're using these text formattings, you have to close it. Otherwise, it's just going to continue on. So if I didn't close out this B under details, then everything under here would be bold. So we always have to make sure, just like with closing if else conditions, always have to make sure that you close them up. So we can see here that you have this ahref. This is going to be that URL. So you're going to be able to insert a hyperlink and you can set a display name for that. So right now it's looking at the customer URL to have the backend, and then the display name is also just still displaying that customer URL link. We have reporter, and this I right here, this is italicized, so this will italicize the reporter's display name. Same with the reporter email address. The assignee is actually, we have this U right here. This is going to underline the assignee display name. Then coming down a little bit further, you see we have a lot of bold going on here. Under priority, you see this span style color red. So this is where it's going to set the priority name in red. It does support most colors. I don't believe it supports any hex, so it's just going to be your standard red, blue, green, yellow that you can type in to make it appear there. And now we are at this if. So this is a conditional if. So this is saying if custom field 10570 is not empty. Keep in mind, not empty. So that's going to be if it has a value. So then it's going to say brand, and it's going to give the custom field 10570.name to display. This is going to be the brand name of the mobile device that was selected. So this is going to be our conditional, where in one of these requests, when we submit one that doesn't involve that custom field, we're not going to see it. But in the one that it does have in that form, we will see it in that email notification. Coming in here, we have a bullet list. So UL starts a bullet list, and then making sure we close it. So we'll see in that email notification, orange, apples, peaches. It supports numbered lists. So here we have a number list of go to the fridge outside, locate the lasagna, place on kitchen counter to defrost. Again, making sure we're closing that. And it does support a table. So a table here, we have our table border, cell padding. If you place the table border as 0, it's not going to have a border. And then as you go through and add more, it's just going to apply a thicker border with those numbers. And then here, this starts out with your table header, and then everything else below is going to be your value and your columns. And then again, coming down here, we have that. So what I'll do for one of these is I'm going to leave unchecked this line break. That way we can also see how that line break. So first we're going to go over to our portal, and we're going to first submit a get IT help. So we'll say Zoom is not working. Says update required. Can I run it? Let's send. So this one, we did it without having that convert line break. So what we're going to do is in this next one we're going to tell it to convert that line break. And then we'll be able to also see the difference in those. So let's go back to the portal and let's submit one more, and we're going to do a new mobile device, which this is the one that we should see that conditional in. So we're going to say need new iPhone, and then the brand we are going to select Apple. We're going to then select an iPhone, and then we'll select the device we want. So in this case, we're going to choose a 16 Pro, and we're going to hit send. So now it has generated these 2 email notifications for us. So if we go ahead and we take a look, this is the first one. This is the one that is for the get IT help, and this one didn't have that convert line break. So we can see here all of our request assignee is blank because we didn't have anything assigned to it since the issue was just created. Going through here, you saw that we had that brand of device. We don't have that here because this was not a ticket that had that value empty, not empty, so we don't have that here. So if we go to the other request we submitted, we can see here that not only is it different for the line break conversion, but we can see here that brand of Apple is selected, and this is the conversion of those line spaces that I was referring to. So even though we have those line breaks inside of that email action, it doesn't really account for them unless you put it 2 of these. So let's say we had reporter and reporter email on the same line, and we put a break in there, then it would translate that to physically break up. But otherwise, right now, these breaks aren't really being seen. It's more so of if we pressed enter, that is where we'll have a space within this email action. And again, you can utilize this for more than just for Jira Service Management. You can use this for Jira. You can use this in the new app that got released as Service Collection called Customer Service Management. You're going to be able to utilize these to really generate more formatted email notifications where it's not usually supported. This will be really good for sending out, let's say, reports to other people, on-call information, just anything you could think of. It'll give you a nice bump for formatting and for sending out information. I do really hope that you take what you learned here and go ahead and spice up your emails back in your own site. And with that, thanks for watching.